the EpicVerse Podcast.
I just don't understand the hate for giants. I just don't get it.
I just don't get it. It makes me sad.
I think it's fascinating that there were people that at one point that were that tall.
Right. You want to get
insane.
Yeah. You want to get into some really cool stuff too.
Yeah.
There is let me see if I can pronounce this right. Meganthropus. Meganthropus. It's an extinct genus of non-hominin hominid ape.
Okay.
And they were known for their large jaw and skull fragments. So they were considered like a giant kind of ape that was like considered like massive.
Right.
And they were somehow related to us based on DNA and all that stuff. But yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So these were even like giants by those standards. Like, you know, they're twice as large as a gorilla. No, they were said to be almost the size of a giant gorilla, which would have made them around somewhere like 8 feet, approximately 400 to 600 pounds.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
It's a big boy.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Could you imagine?
Yeah, no, that would shred you.
Oh, yeah. They would destroy people.
Yeah, you'd be done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, the thing that's so fascinating about giants is that not only do we have giant skeletons, but we also have like so much literature that talks about giants, so much like mythology that talks about giants. One of the things that I always find very interesting, and giants are actually very similar in this way, as are like dragons and stuff. Like pretty much every mythology has some form of a dragon in it, and at least you know the major ones that we know of. And that makes you think, okay, so there probably was something that dragons were based upon at one point, which, you know, we talked about recently about them being dinosaurs.
Yeah.
But then giants are also a very common theme in most mythologies as well.
Yeah.
So like, you know, Greek mythology had people like, you know, Atlas and things like that. There was like Hrungnir from Norse mythology.
Yep.
You know, there's like all sorts of crazy giants like Polyphemus as well.
We have in biblical like Goliath, which is like the what most well known. Yeah.
And there is actually like a bunch of giants in the Bible as well.
Yeah.
Some that were even like taller than Goliath, who had like 6 or 7 fingers and toes on their hands and feet and stuff. So Irish mythology has giants in it. You know, a lot of there's Japanese has giants in it. You know, Great Britain has giants, you know. It's just like you see giants everywhere.
Check this out. I got a list right here. I want to just read this list. These are just the well-known religious and mythological like cultures that had mentions of giants in it. Abrahamic, Armenian, Baltic, Basque, Bulgarian, Greek, Hindu, Jain, Native American, Norse, Roman, and then European. Look at that. That's a huge list.
And and it's kind of interesting because that's all areas that are kind of geographically close together, and a lot of them are at least and stuff. Like they connected pretty easily. So yeah, I don't know. Like that's something that I always find very interesting about mythologies is when you see those kind of like correlations and stuff, and it makes you, because I do believe that a lot of things that come from mythology are actually based on true things and stuff.
Well, they've got to come from somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know, I mean, for some mythology, it could be just a crazy imagination, but I think for a lot of things, there's a lot of, like I don't know, not necessarily evidence, but there's a lot of truth to some of the stuff in mythology.
Well, I think this is interesting. Over in Aztec mythology, the Quinametsin
there, it's crazy.
Yeah, the Quinametsin were reported to be like a population of giants that lived like during a time period, and they were like said to stand over 12 feet tall, and then were punished by the gods because they did not venerate them, and their peak civilization came to an end. But the Aztecs claimed that they built the Great Pyramid of Cholula. So like they say that they didn't even build it, that somebody else did.
Is that in Mexico?
You want to know something that's really interesting?
It is in Mexico today.
There was also a discovery in Tennessee where they found a footprint that they believe to be human, and it was found in like solid rock, and it's 33 inches long.
Ooh.
And it has 6 toes on it.
Ooh. Ooh.
So yeah. So maybe these giants had like like a lot of fingers and toes or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So many fingers and toes.
I bet. I'm just saying. Like, look at that. They found it.
Yeah, exactly.
In Tennessee.
In Tennessee.
Home of the Titans.
Yeah,
Right.
totally.
Hmm?
Yeah, love them Titans.
Mm-hmm.
You don't watch football. Stop.
Yeah, just right now.
Could you imagine, Ben? Check this out, Ben. Check this out.
Yeah.
Check this out. Ready for this?
Mhm.
Imagine you're playing football,
Mm-hmm.
and the quarterback comes up to the line,
Mm-hmm.
and he's 11 foot tall.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Imagine.
Could you imagine that?
What do you do, Ben?
What would you do?
I don't know. Just,
He grabs the football in his hand, and you can't even see it anymore. He doesn't even throw it.
Yeah.
He just
I'd be
runs
kinda
by
scared
people.
that he's just gonna yeet it way
He's
too
just
far.
gonna kick people out of the way. He doesn't ever do it. He just literally hikes the ball to himself and he runs, and nobody can catch him, and it's like 6 or 7 steps and he's already in the end zone.
Yeah. I
When he
feel like that wouldn't
spikes
be
the
allowed.
ball, when it spikes the ball, it goes deep into the earth. No, it's allowed. Why would you tell him he can't play? He didn't
Oh.
cheat.
Oh.
He's just born better.
Just a big boy.
Maybe that's the problem, Ben.
Maybe that's the problem. You ever think about that?
Maybe
Because what
that's
I've
the
heard
problem.
is a lot of these people that have giantism and stuff like that are actually like incredibly strong.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go look up
Exactly.
Paul White, the Big Show, WWE wrestler, huge, one of the
Yeah.
biggest people on earth. At one point, he was 500 pounds.
Woo.
So much.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So much.
Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
Huge.
Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
How tall was
Huge.
Andre?
Okay, well, Big Show is 7 foot exactly. Andre the Giant was 7'4".
Andre, okay. Obviously that's huge, but he was only 7'4". Some of the people
Only.
we're talking about are like 12 feet tall.
4 feet
And
taller.
and
than
Andre the
Andre.
Giant towered over people in The Princess Bride.
I actually went to a wrestling school one time, and I saw one of Andre the Giant's chairs. I literally had to climb up into it like a child.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Ben?
It's legit.
Yeah. Imagine being that tall, and it doesn't seem like he's that tall, but you have to climb up into his chair like a child. Now imagine an 11-foot man in a chair.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What do I just don't understand your negativity, man.
Pretty sick.
Come at me when I'm like, oh, space is cool, but like we're never gonna see any of it because we don't have the technology yet. And you're like, Michael, you're something I gotta have.
Yeah.
We have
because
people
space-
today. We have people today, Ben, that are living on this earth
Space.
that desperately need people to love them for being so tall, and you won't do it.